When Amoka first arrived in Abuja, she carried everything she owned in a single gonomosgo bag. The city welcomed her with hot harmattan air and the sharp smell of roasted suya at Burger Junction. Her plan was simple. Find work. Save money. Make Mama proud back in the village. She found a job as a receptionist at a mid-sized law firm in Wustu. The pay was nothing fancy, 70,000 Nigerian nairas monthly, but it was better than the 20,000 Nigerian nairas shop assistant job she left behind in Owerri. At the office, everyone liked her. She was quiet, polite, and always smiling. Especially Chioma and Busy, two co-workers who quickly took her under their wing. "Girl, you can't be dressing like this," Chioma teased one morning, eyeing Amoka's simple blouse and skirt. "This is Abuja, babe. You need to level up." Busy added, "Don't worry, we'll show you how this city works." And just like that, they became friends. Or at least, she thought they were friends. By the second month, Amoka was no longer the shy village girl. Her hair was braided at expensive salons in Jobi. She wore borrowed heels and makeup Chioma taught her to apply. Weekends were for hanging out in lounges, drinks, music, and selfies with captions like, "Abuja girls don't stress." But it was also the first time Amoka noticed something odd. Whenever the bill came, Chioma and Busy would glance at her, smiling sweetly. "Amoka baby, just handle this one. You know we'll sort you next time." Next time never came. She didn't mind at first, after all, what were friends for? But soon, her 70,000 Nigerian naira salary couldn't keep up. One Sunday, she attended church in Gaki, a small Pentecostal gathering with loud drums and sweat-soaked prayers. During the sermon, the pastor paused, eyes scanning the crowd. "There are people in your life," he said, "who clap when you dance but pray for your fall when you turn your back. My sister, be careful. Abuja is a city where friendship is currency, and betrayal is cheap." Amoka shifted uncomfortably in her seat. She didn't know why, but those words stayed with her. By April, rumors started swirling. It began with hushed whispers in the break room, then side-eyes during meetings. Someone claimed she was dating a senior partner at the firm, that her new clothes and occasional Uber rides weren't from her small salary. "Babe, don't mind them," Chioma said one afternoon, painting her nails at her desk. "They're just jealous. Let them talk." But Amoka noticed how Chioma and Busy had started whispering more when she walked into the room. How their laughter stopped when she passed. It was subtle, but sharp enough to cut. One Friday, after work, the girls invited her to a house party in Metoma. "VIP vibes only," Busy said with a wink. "You'll love it. Just wear that fine red dress we bought you." The house was massive, marble floors, glass chandeliers, the air heavy with expensive perfume. At first, everything felt exciting. Music, drinks, laughter. Then, slowly, the evening changed. A man, older, loud, smelling of whiskey, cornered her near the pool. "Your friend said you're new in town," he said, his hand brushing against hers. "Don't be shy. Abuja is for big girls." Amoka froze, her heart pounding. She glanced around for Chioma or Busy, but they were on the other side of the pool, laughing with men twice their age. She left that night in an Uber she could barely afford, the city lights blurring through her tears. By the next week, the office whispers had grown louder. "Amoka is running packages now," someone said in the hallway. "She thinks she's better than us," another whispered. When she tried to confront Chioma about it, the girl laughed in her face. "Babe, relax. You're just too sensitive. Abuja is tough. If you can't handle small talk, how will you handle real pressure?" That night, Amoka sat alone in her tiny cobweb room, staring at her reflection in the cracked mirror. Her bank account was empty. Her rent was due. And the people she thought were friends had turned her name into dirt. One quiet evening, her phone rang. It was Mama. Amoka, Mama said, her voice soft but firm. Remember who you are. Abuja is not your home. Don't let the city swallow you. Something broke inside her. For weeks, she'd been pretending, smiling in selfies, laughing in lounges, but deep down, she was tired. The next day, she went to work with her head held high. She stopped eating lunch in the break room. She started going straight home after work, avoiding the calls, the gossip, the fake smiles. It wasn't easy. Loneliness followed her everywhere. But slowly, quietly, she began to breathe again. By the time the month rolled into April, Ifeoma's routine had settled into a quiet rhythm: office, church, home, sometimes brunch with her colleagues at a cafe in Wustu. Life in Abuja felt calmer than Lagos, but it also felt lonely. Her parents called every Sunday after church, her mother always asking the same question: when are you bringing someone home? Abuja is full of good men, oh, don't waste time. Ifeoma would laugh it off. She wasn't ready. She wanted to focus on herself, on building a career, saving money, maybe even buying her first car. But deep down, loneliness gnawed at her. She would scroll through Instagram every night, watching reels of people partying in posh clubs or jetting off to Dubai for quick vacations. She wanted that soft life, not desperately, but enough to feel the sting of envy when she saw others living it. It was around this time she met Chioma. It started innocently. Chioma was a colleague from another department. She was always dressed to kill, designer heels, flawless makeup, and wigs that looked straight out of an influencer's page. "Babe, I love your bag," Chioma had said one Monday morning, stopping by her desk. "Where did you get it?" Ifeoma smiled shyly. "Oh, just from Woos Market." Chioma gasped, playfully clutching her chest. "Busco. You're wasting. With your body, you fit slay in designer. Let me take you shopping this weekend." And just like that, a friendship was born. Chioma introduced Ifeoma to her small circle: 3 other girls, Amanda, a makeup artist, Tola, a YouTuber, and Mimi, the wild one of the group who always seemed to have a new boyfriend every month. They went out every Friday night. Clubs in Gwarimpa, lounges in Metoma, and sometimes house parties hosted by rich guys in Asakoro. For the first time in a long time, Ifeoma felt alive. She loved the thrill of dressing up, dancing under neon lights, and sipping cocktails she couldn't even pronounce. She felt like she finally belonged. But beneath the laughter, there were cracks, small, almost invisible at first. One Friday night at a lounge in Jobi, Chioma leaned over to her and whispered, "Babe, don't just sit here, oh, talk to somebody. Networking is how you grow in this city." Ifeoma laughed nervously. "But I don't really know anyone here." "Then know them," Chioma said sharply, her voice laced with impatience. "See that guy in white? He drives a Benz. If you play your cards well, he can take care of you. Stop forming." Ifeoma brushed it off with a polite smile, but something twisted in her stomach. She didn't move to Abuja to play her cards. She just wanted to build a life on her own terms. A week later, another incident left her unsettled. The group had gone to a pool party in Metoma. After a few drinks, Amanda's phone went missing. "Check Ifeoma," Mimi blurted out, her voice sharp. "She's the only new one here." The words hung in the air like smoke. "What?" Ifeoma asked, stunned. "Why would you say that?" Mimi shrugged, sipping her drink. "I'm just saying. I don't really know you like that." Amanda eventually found her phone in her bag, but the damage was done. The laughter resumed, but Ifeoma couldn't shake the feeling, the quiet warning that maybe, just maybe, these girls weren't really her friends. By June, the outings became more expensive. Dinners at Transcorp Hilton. Drinks at exclusive lounges. Trips to Lagos for dirty December planning meetings. Chioma would casually say things like, babe, wear something nice, there's this senator hosting us tonight. Don't embarrass me. And then came the subtle pressure. You can't keep wearing the same Zara dress every Friday, Tola teased one night. Let me link you with my plug. Even if you don't have money, they'll let you pay small. Ifeoma smiled weakly, but inside, shame burned her. She had just sent half her salary home to help her parents fix the leaking roof. She didn't have money for designer clothes or small payments. Her breaking point came one Sunday afternoon. She had gone to brunch with the group at a fancy restaurant in Wustu. The bill came, 120,000 Nigerian nairas. Let's split it evenly, Chioma said, tapping her long acrylic nails on the table. Ifeoma froze. But I only had a plate of pasta and juice. Amanda rolled her eyes. Babe, it's not that deep. You're forming broke girl again. Abuja is for big girls. If you can't keep up, then maybe. Then maybe what? Ifeoma interrupted, her voice trembling but firm. The table went silent. Mimi smacked. Then maybe you shouldn't sit with us. That night, Ifeoma sat in her small flat in Gaki, staring at her phone. The group chat buzzed with pictures and videos from the brunch, laughter, clinking glasses, captions like soft life or nothing. She didn't reply. She muted the group the next morning. Stopped going out on Fridays. When Chioma called, she ignored it. When Amanda sent a passive-aggressive text, "Hope you're good, Shaw. We haven't seen you in a while." She simply typed, "I'm fine," and left it at that. Work became her refuge. She threw herself into her projects, even earning a small bonus for meeting a tough deadline. On weekends, she spent more time at church, joining the choir again, finding solace in the quiet hum of worship songs. By August, she realized something: she hadn't been lonely at all before meeting Chioma and her circle. She had been content. It was their version of friendship that made her feel small, invisible, and inadequate. When Edeora left Enugu for Abuja, she was full of hope. 27, sharp, ambitious, and with just enough savings to rent a tiny one-room apartment in Kabwa. Her plan was simple: secure a better job, save enough to start her clothing business, and send something back home for Mama. At first, everything looked bright. She met Chioma and Blessing at a church program in Wus. They were loud, stylish, and confident, the kind of girls who knew the hot lounges, the best hairdressers, and exactly how to network with big men in the city. "Babe, you can't be dulling yourself," Chioma would say with her usual smirk. "In this Abuja, you either mingle or you die broke." Edeora laughed along, grateful for the friendship. They showed her how to dress Abuja standard, introduced her to their circle, and even helped her get a side hustle running errands for a boutique owner in Jobi. But beneath the surface, things were not as perfect as they seemed. It started one Sunday after service. Edeora overheard two girls whispering near the car park. "See that new babe wey dey follow Chioma dem? She no even know say dem dey use catch trips." Edeora brushed it off. "People gossip in Abuja all the time," she told herself. She trusted her friends. Then came the first warning from Mama Ngechi, the landlady's elderly sister. "My daughter," the woman said one hot evening as Edeora returned from work, "shine your eyes. This Abuja no pure. Some friends will laugh with you in daylight but sell you in the night. Be careful who you call sister." Edeora smiled politely, thanked her, but didn't think much of it. She was too busy hustling, too eager to belong. It was during Chioma's birthday at a rooftop bar in Gorimpa that the cracks began to show. They had planned a girls' night out, drinks, music, and maybe a little networking with the big boys Chioma always bragged about. Edeora showed up in her best thrifted dress, hair neatly done, nails clean but simple. She wasn't used to the flashy life, but she was willing to try. Halfway through the night, a man in his late 30s walked up to her. Tall, dark, wearing a gold wristwatch that probably cost more than her entire savings. "You're beautiful," he said, smiling. "Can I get you a drink?" She hesitated. Chioma gave her a subtle nod of approval from across the table, signaling it was okay. The man, who introduced himself as Mr. Tond, was charming. He talked about business, investments, and his life in Metoma. Before the night ended, he asked for her number. By Monday morning, everyone in their WhatsApp group was gushing about how lucky she was. "Babe, Tond is rich, oh," Blessing said in a voice note. "Don't slack. This one fit change your life." Edeora, naive but excited, believed them. Weeks passed, and Tond started taking her out, expensive dinners, shopping sprees, soft talks about building something serious. Edeora felt special. But behind her back, the whispers grew louder. "She thinks say she don't blow," Blessing mocked during a brunch Edeora missed. "Abeg leave am. Now we link her up. When we finish, she go no say Abuja no be for saints," Chioma replied with a smirk. The trap was set when Chioma invited Edeora to a business meeting at a private lounge in Asokoro. She said it was a chance to meet potential investors for Edeora's fashion dreams. Excited, Edeora dressed carefully that evening, thanking God for friends who wanted to see her win. But when she arrived, the air felt different. Ton was there, but so were two older men, already drinking and laughing. "Babe, just relax," Chioma whispered. "Network. These are serious people." It wasn't until one of the men casually placed his hand on her thigh that Edeora realized what was happening. She froze. "This is not what I signed up for," she said, standing abruptly. Chioma pulled her aside, anger flashing in her eyes. "Stop embarrassing us, Eda. Do you know how many girls would kill for this opportunity?" Edeora's chest tightened. "I thought you were my friends." "Grow up," Blessing hissed. "In this city, you either play the game or go back to your village." Edeora left that night in tears, her Uber ride silent except for the buzzing of her phone, Chioma calling, probably to scold her. She didn't pick. By the next week, the group chat was silent. Invitations to hang out stopped. People who once hyped her post on Instagram now ignored her stories. In church, she noticed the sideways glances, the hushed whispers. Someone had clearly twisted the story, painting her as ungrateful, proud, or worse, spoiled. Her small boutique hustle began to suffer too. Chioma and Blessing, who had once connected her to clients, now told others not to work with her. Bills piled up. Rent became due. Calls from home came more frequently, Mama asking for help with her younger brother's school fees, unaware of the storm Edeora was drowning in. It wasn't until she sat alone one evening, staring at her almost empty kitchen shelf, that the weight of it all hit her. Abuja taught Edeora the hardest way: friendships built on benefits crumble when you stop playing along. But she wasn't broken. She cut them off completely, blocked their numbers, and slowly rebuilt her life. She started taking tailoring gigs in smaller neighborhoods, teaching herself to save little by little. It took months, but eventually, she opened a tiny stall in Gaki. Nothing fancy, but it was hers. And in the quiet of her small shop, between the hum of her sewing machine and the laughter of new, genuine friends she met along the way, Edeora learned a powerful truth. Not everyone smiling with you wants to see you win.